Focus. That's a good start. Anyway, I'm going to do something I don't think I've actually done before, and that is make a video summarising my collection of computers and computer-related stuff. And starting off is something that isn't even a computer. It's in fact a dumb terminal. What you did back in the day was you had a big mainframe computer or a small home computer, something like the Altair 8800, IMSA 8080 if you was at home, or whatever big mainframe PC you had in your place of education or work. And the way it communicated was not through a monitor, but through a serial connection. And if that doesn't focus, come on, focus you. Yeah. Come on. Nope, doesn't want to do it. Oh well, DB25 connector, you get the idea. And it would come up on the screen what you was working on. Now, this is a popular model, but there is one problem with this one. It doesn't work. You can show data on the screen just fine, but the keyboard controller chip inside is indeed completely knackered. And that is a problem because it's a custom firmware on there. Well, I say firmware, custom code. So it's nearly impossible to find the chip. You could build your own, but I'm too lazy for that. Also, I get screen flicker because this is a US plug, and I have to have one of these to plug it in, and the hertz don't match. But still, it's a nice bit of history, and it's big, if there's one word to describe it. It's very big and very heavy. On the back, yep, just to can't see. Oh well, let's try and put it forward. There you go, we got two parallel connections. One of them is for a printer, that one, and that one's for the computer. Lovely. Let's try and get this down without making it go plonk. Now let's move on to the shelf. Or in the words of Stuart Ashens, the shelf of interesting items. Starting from the top, a copy of Macintosh System 7.5. Toshiba Satellite Pro 440 CDX, a Game Boy printer, and an original Game Boy still in the box. I have two of those actually, one of which is still in the box and one of which is just laying around. And it's got a copy of Tetris and the link cable and headphones, so all completely original. Here is a non-working BBC Micro. My working one is over there, but we'll get to that in a minute. And the disk drive, which also doesn't work. Two things that don't work already. Yeah, Commodore 64s, both of those work just fine. GameCube, Nintendo Wii, portable PlayStation. Oh, come on, it doesn't even go up. Great. Intuitive. And of course the normal, well, I say normal, that's a chipped one. PlayStation 1 underneath. Fat PlayStation 3, can't remember if that one works or not. Nintendo 64. Oh, the light in here is not good. Sega Mega Drive and the Mega CD add-on, which was a bit of a flop, but I still find it quite interesting. A Sega Game Gear is in there. NES, which I rarely ever use, to be honest. I don't know why I've got this stylophone sitting here, but it's there, and I don't have anywhere else to put it. The rarest system I own, which is the Commodore Amiga CD32, the last product in the Amiga line, if I'm not mistaken. Hiding here is an Amstrad CPC 464. Again, it works, amazingly, except for the cassette drive. The motors were bust, so I just put in one of those car cassette adapters, and that seems to work lovely. And the green monitor. And a Macintosh Classic. They're Apple's first computer to cost under £1,000. You know you're running a good business when that's an achievement. Alright, let's move over to the stuff that I can show you working. Sit down for a minute. Right, this is the working BBC Micro. And yeah, BBC's computer literacy project. Computers manufactured by Acorn. As you can imagine, the British Broadcasting Corporation don't have the facilities to build computers. But what they wanted to do was make a bunch of TV shows and other such things so people could learn to program. And they were working with a number of companies, and they like what Acorn came up with the most. In fact, they made this within a week. Because they sort of, I don't really know what happened, but pretty good for something that was designed in a week. Or pretty good for anything, actually. I'm going to start this up. Listen to the wonderful tone. Beep. BBC Computer 32K Acorn DFS. Now, if you had a disk drive connected, you could just go shift and break, and it would boot into the game. But it doesn't have one. And the 32K disappears whenever you do a soft reset, which I've never understood. I'm going to rewind this. I'm not going to load it all the way up, but I will just sort of, you know, so you get the idea. You do tape, chain, oops, chin. Oh, I'm a silly fool. Okay, and then you press play on the tape, and yeah, you'll get the found and whatever. I'll obviously do some editing here because it might be sitting here for a little bit. There you go, found fire track, loading fire track. And now we wait for another screen to pop up after it's done loading all those blocks. Loading from cassette tapes. Those weren't the days. And for any of you unaware people watching, yes, it actually is loading from an audio cassette. If you want to hear what it sounds like, because I don't really care if this loads or not. Oh, I've left a big gap, I forgot about that. Let's have a listen. Music. Still better than Skrillex. Right, so what's next? Oh yes, the Spectrum. Can't be bothered to hook that up, but I can show you the ZX81. I have to turn the volume off. I hate this TV so much. Yeah, that's the screen you get, just with a K on it. And of course you hook up a tape recorder and you can load things. I'll quickly type in a program, 10, print, hello, goes up there, 20, go to 10. Really horrible keys on this. They're sort of touch sensitive doohickeys. And it's got 1K of RAM, which is amazing. There you go, hello. You can just about see that. Okay. But there you go. Anyway, let's move on. So got a bunch of crap up here. I have made room here because I have recently bought on eBay a Commodore PET, and that's where I plan to put it. But let's have a look at what's here. Have I actually plugged it in? No. Sure enough, I haven't. Let me go and do that. Hold on. Alright. And it just occurs to me I haven't even booted this computer in ages, so who knows if it will start or not. And it's a Macintosh 2 CI. No, it's booted up and C. That's a good sign. It hasn't caught fire yet. Here we go. Looking good. Happy Mac. Welcome to Macintosh. Why, thank you. Mac OS. System 7.5, which is actually the operating system I have over there. And this takes forever to boot. Ding. Yep. Okay. Oh, and got a couple of. Well, I've actually got loads of these bloody things. I got more of the 5¼ inch floppies than I do the normal 3½ inch ones. And I really would like to get some 8½ inch floppies. Just I don't have a drive for them. I just want them, just to have. That would be really cool. But these are the floppies that actually are floppy, and they're yeah, I like them so much more than the 3½ inch ones. They're just lighter, not as sensitive to damage. And there we go, Macintosh 2CI all ready and booted. Now come on, shut down you. Let's go to... Actually, this does shut down pretty quickly sometimes when it actually responds. Come on, there you go. Shut down. Boom, off. Blink and you missed it. Got a Power Mac G5. Yeah, that's not even hooked up in any way, so can't show you that. I do have the Raspberry Pi, which is a really cool little computer. And my main PC, yeah, I could do a whole other video about that. But I don't have to tell you that the cover always falls off. Yep. There's a special way of putting it on, but I can never be asked. I've got a MIDI keyboard there for when I do some music projects occasionally, and speakers which come off of my hi-fi. A couple of old Dells and laptops and generic crap. But now let's go into the other room. And oh, if you didn't notice, colour dot matrix printer sitting right there, and a couple of other printers as well. Right, other room time. This is the room I actually sleep in, believe it or not. There's just about enough room for a bed. Start off on the floor. There's an old data cassette recorder. Have you guessed by the keyboard what may lurk in here? In fact, you probably have already if you know the keyboard, because that edition of the Apple keyboard only came with this computer. Come on, don't be shy. Yep. By the look of this top, it is a Macintosh Plus. This is probably my favourite of all the old Macs. Like it so much more than the classic, and I've got a big extra 40 megabyte hard drive attached to it, and the original Apple mouse. And the cable is actually the rarest thing. The cable that connects the keyboard socket there, little phone connector to the keyboard, is rarer than the system. But I got this all for 20 quid, so how can you complain? In case you're wondering, my camera is on a sort of neck strap thing. I don't have 3 arms. Yep. Oh, come on. Do up, you. This case is a nightmare. But, people on eBay were charging 70 quid for the case alone. Okay. That's the Mac out the way. Here I have the complete Frankenstein PC, which is missing a hard drive, but well, it's not missing a hard drive, I've put it in something else. Put it in something else. I still get voice cracks, it's really annoying. And I've got tons of these laying around. Bunch of Atari 2600 games. A Power Macintosh 7500-100, which sometimes works. Depends what mood it's in. And a Power Mac G4 over there. And in that box is an Atari 2600 Junior, I believe. Still packed up from when we moved, and that was a few months ago. PlayStation 4. That's not vintage. Why do you care about that? And here, a Gateway 2000 P4D661 running Windows 3.1 and MS-DOS 6.22. And it works really well. quite impressed by it. And if you look down below, we have a dot matrix printer, which I was actually given. Basically, if you remember that terminal I was talking about, I took it to some guy's house. I think his name was John. Lived in the local area, and he's worked with those Hazeltine terminals before. Found him on a forum. And so, to make sure I didn't have a wasted journey, he just said, "Hey, I've got an old printer laying around, do you want it?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And so, I've also got a few spare ribbons. And it works. As you can see by the fact that it's printed out. That's my autoexec.bat file. Not an original keyboard, but fitting of the era because it doesn't have the Windows key. And these two speakers. And that guy who's not related at all. Yeah. I guess I could, if it's still plugged in. No, it isn't. I have to go and plug it in. I'll show you this one working as well. Yeah, completely silent CRT monitor, which barely makes any noise when you switch it on. Same cannot be said for the computer. And it should boot right into DOS 6.22. This video is going on a very long time. Greetings, Professor Falcon, how about a nice game of chess? Yeah, I put that in my autoexec because I'm that much of a nerd. Anyway, let's go launch Windows. Windows 3.1. There should be a picture of a cow surfing, if I recall. Yep, that's what Gateway give you for a wallpaper. How nice. I forgot that I changed the resolution on this. Yeah. 640 by 480. Whoa! That is some major flicker. Let's see if I can. Nope, I don't think I can do for that. Oh well. There you go. Let's shut this thing down before I have epileptic seizures. How does one shut down DOS? Well, it's quite simple. You turn off the bloody computer. Okay, well, that's about it, I think. Because this video's gone on a very long time. There's a whole bunch of stuff in that box there. They're not really computers though. Anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this little look around what I have. Goodbye.